We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey, see, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, we them nothing but Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing but we them nothing but Niners.
Click, click, boom! What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back for another fun-filled episode. Guys, it's been a long 24 hours, and it seems like there's more to talk about today than it has been since yesterday. I can't believe how the news cycle is just spinning right now. So, man, it really makes us look crazy from how we were doing shows before, like with no topics, nothing coming from the news. And then all of a sudden, it's like, we got to do so much. We have to do bonus episodes. So I'm happy to be here, man. Guys, before we get to the formalities, how y'all doing, man? What's going on?
I'm doing good, man. I think we getting a little too much news. You know what I'm saying? Some of the news I don't even want, but it is what it is. We got to break it to the guys down, break it down for the guys out there. So I'm good. I'm good, though. I'm good. Long day.
Nick's got to take himself off of mute so he can answer.
I thought I had myself off mute. Dude, I'm out of it right now. Look, yeah, man, things are good. It's just, like you said, Mike, it's grind time now, right? Not only for players, but for us as well. We're getting to that point where news is going to come out daily, and, we always have to be on it, right? So, it's going to be an interesting year. Injuries have hit us again, it seems like, and we'll talk a little bit about that tonight.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Absolutely. So let's get through these formalities, man, and we're going to have a fun show here. So, guys, if it's your first time here on the YouTube page, we want to thank you guys for checking us out. We really appreciate it. Make sure you guys give us a thumbs up if you enjoy what you hear or what you see. Also, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications, all right? Give us a follow on our Twitter and Snapchat. That is Nothing But 9, number 9, ERS, Nothing But 9, ERS. Give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. That is Nothing But Niners. That's spelled all the way out. All words in there, no numbers. Give us a check us out on the website, guys. It's www.nothingbutniners.com. That's going to be your one-stop shop for any and everything 49ers from us here at Nothing But Niners, okay? And then if you want some apparel, you see the hat that Nick is rocking over there, man. Stop by the website, man. Shop NB9ERS and grab you one of those nice. Are those called trucker hats? Is that the trucker hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get one of those. Now, I thought trucker hats were the ones that were like the snapbacks, but apparently there's a difference. It has to have mesh on it.
That's
it has to have like just mesh on it.
Yeah.
So the only way it's a trucker hat is if it's mesh. It could be a fitted.
If it's like a two-tone split hat, so or it has like the whole backing area is like the netting area like this.
Okay. All right. See, I don't know. I was like, what's the difference between a snapback, a fitted, and a trucker hat? And it's the split there. So, all right, I think I got it now. All right, guys. So, listen, man, we have a lot to discuss, and I don't know where y'all want to start. We had some pressers. We heard from head coach Kyle Shanahan again. We heard from defensive rookie of the year, Nick Bosa. We heard from first-round draft pick Brandon Ayuk. We heard from undrafted free agent Ross Dwelley. He wasn't drafted, was he? Or was he? No, he wasn't drafted.
He was undrafted.
And then there was somebody else I'm thinking of, and I can't remember who it is right now. But
Kyle Shanahan and Nick Bosa.
This is how y'all know Nick don't listen to anything I say on this show.
I didn't say Bosa.
Nick don't give a damn what Mike be saying on this show, bro.
It just repeats. It just
I definitely do care what you say, always, but I just didn't hear you say Bosa. My bad.
Or it doesn't mean anything until Nick says it. That's what it is. That's
no, definitely not. Definitely not.
It's got to get the Nick stamp of approval.
Right? I love it, yo.
Definitely not. I got a migraine tonight, man. And
it's all good, man. We heard from we have pressers, we have rumors coming from camp, we have injuries to discuss. Where do you guys want to start, man? When do y'all pick a subject? Or
let's start with the injuries, so that way we can uplift the rest of the show. Let's start with the injuries. How about that?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, cool.
Okay.
So we know the deal with Ben Garland, right? Ben Garland is supposedly going to be out for a little while. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be like for the next 2 weeks, or is he scheduled to come back by week 2? I couldn't remember how I read that. So maybe you guys have some clarification on it on his ankle injury.
Yeah, I mean, the last I saw was 2 weeks, just 2 weeks in
That's
general.
what I thought I saw too. All right. I just wanted to make sure I didn't see anything that said like week 2 opposed to 2 weeks. Sometimes you take the words and you know they go backwards.
Well, what's significant about that is it explains exactly why we had to go out and get that center. If it like we said, if it was just going to be a day or two, oh yeah, you can turn it on. I'm sweating over here. Y'all gonna hear my air conditioner. I don't care. All right. It was supposed, if it was a day or two, I think the team would have held off having to cut somebody and then sign somebody, but they needed to get those centers. My question though about this, right? Who did we release to make room for the?
We released DeMarcus AC. Mike think he's slick. That motherfucker with the, you see the smirk on his face, Nick?
Well,
Hold on, Nick. Did you see the smirk on his face?
Yeah,
well, I told y'all I was coming back for y'all. Remember, I told y'all I was gonna get y'all back.
So before Nick speak, let me just go out on the air. I'm gonna eat the crow. I really don't like crow. I'd rather eat pigeon or some shit. But I'll eat the crow. You know what I'm saying? I said that DeMarcus AC is gonna make this team. Now check this out. If he's stashed on the practice squad, is that still making the team? Because then I'm coming back forcing the crow down your throat. I just want to. Okay, I'm just asking if that does that mean he made the team if he gets on the practice squad? Okay,
yes,
just checking.
I'll give you that because Shanahan was talking about the practice squad today. He was saying that most likely guys on the practice squad are going to have to contribute to the season at some point. So I will give you that.
Well, if you guys, I don't know if you guys read that article that I sent you guys the other night. I believe it was last night, but it was a pretty good article because a lot of, like myself included, thought that there was actually going to be 55 guys on the roster this year, but it's not actually 55. It's 53, but you can bring up 2 guys from the practice squad every week onto the actual game squad for that game. So they would only come up for game day activeness and then play in that article.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It was a 53-man roster with 46 active before, and then it went to a 55-man roster with an expanded practice squad and 48 active on game day, but the 2 had to be linemen. So that's not.
No. Only one had to be a lineman.
Oh man.
Only one has to be a lineman to have an additional. You can't put 2 wide receivers active. Right. It has to be one. Has to be a lineman. But what it is they come up with an initial 53, and then those other 2, you can have up to 6 vets on your practice squad, but those other 2 can be called up every game day or every game week. You can have 2 people, but I think you can only be called up twice in the season in that article.
That's it?
Yeah. So I believe it's only twice. I can go back and look while you guys are talking on something and get the actual details on it.
That's cornball.
I saw somebody asking about why my my little net gator looks like Redskin Washington colors, and it's just how it fades. It's really red up here, but for whatever reason it fades to that maroon color. I don't know why they made it like that, but I needed one long enough to cover all of my hair. The other one I have stops a little short, so I wanted this one on today. It's all good. But no, Ben Garland is gone. We have had to make some roster cuts. No shot at Breezy.
Yes, it was.
I'm lying. That was a shot in the hit.
It definitely was, because you couldn't even keep the junk in without smiling. But go ahead.
And it's bad because now I look like I'm smiling that somebody got cut. That's not cool. Like, I don't celebrate guys losing their jobs. That's not. I'm not that guy. But that was just a little jab at my man Breezy. But yeah, so that happened. And then there's another injury that we heard about today, and that was from someone on the opposite side of Ben Garland, and that is our defensive tackle, DJ Jones, that shoulder. So we haven't discussed that yet, right? We didn't discuss that yesterday, did we?
No, because we did not. He didn't get injured till today, so we couldn't have discussed it. We couldn't have discussed it yesterday.
I see the energy you coming with. Okay.
Oh yeah, right. I'm just saying, like, it happened today. What We don't know the severity of the injury yet, though. It hasn't been released. The report hasn't been released, right?
Right.
So we're hoping it's a stinger. I guess that would be the best news. I think another thing was if it is a shoulder injury and it is something, I think the amount of time he'll miss is about 8 weeks. So you figure you got 2 more weeks to the season start, then 6 games in. So you figure he can, if it is a bad injury or whatnot, he could be back week 7 against the Seahawks. So we'll see. But this may mean that they're going to go out and add another piece to the team. So
it's something that we got to keep our eyes on, Shanahan said something that surprised me, and we were trying to go back and forth on this. We were trying to figure out the 2 or 3 players that were on the team's PUP list, right? We had Taylor, we had Weston Richburg.
Well, not Weston Richburg isn't on there yet. He that's what I read today. He may go on there.
No, I saw Weston Richburg was on.
It said that he was.
Julian Taylor was on, and the other guy you said was Ronald Blair today. He did say Richie James probably won't start the season.
He's going to be on the NFI list.
Ronald Blair is expected to be back early in the season.
Right, but he also said he was on the PUP list. He said of those guys on the PUP list right now, which are the 5, and then he said how did he say it?
James Richburg. Yeah, he said James Richburg and Taylor aren't coming back to week 6.
Right.
But Ronald Blair,
he said James though,
can't come back until week 6. So that means that he's not really on that list. This is what's confusing me. Every time we hear something about it, it's going back and forth. You can't expect him back early if he's on PUP. He can't come back till week 6.
Well, I think they can remove him off PUP before week 1. If they remove him off of PUP before week 1, he's eligible to come back. You have up until a certain deadline. I think it's when your roster's set because they have to count against the 53-man roster. So if they're on the PUP, they won't count against that 53-man roster, and then you would make the additional moves. So technically, you can be on the PUP right now until your active list is
never heard of that.
Placed in.
But Jalen Hurd should be on there now also.
Well, he's going on IR, so he's not going to be on the PUP.
IR, yeah. And we're going to talk about him later on because there was definitely some news about Jalen Hurd that I heard, and it got me excited. So we'll touch on that later on. I don't think there were any other injuries that we needed to touch on. Can you guys think of anything before we move on?
Other than K'Wan Williams just being week to week. So that's a bonus. And Eric Armstead was back at practice today in pads. So that's great. Trying to think of who else might have been injured that are actually back. I think that's pretty much
DJ Jones.
We talked about him being injured.
You don't care what I say, bro.
Bro, I was reading the article, trying to find this information for you.
We just spent 6 minutes on DJ.
Okay, but I literally was reading an article to find where I was.
Got you, bro. I'm not arguing, man. I'm just letting you know. So Mike, don't stay it back.
Do you guys want to know what this is before we move on?
Yes, please go ahead, break it down.
All right, so the 2-week thing that I was saying is when you can bring up players 2 weeks is you can bring them up 2 weeks without them being exposed to waivers. Once you bring them up after the 2nd week, they're exposed to waivers. So then another team can pick them up. So let's just say we used a rookie or somebody and we stash them on the practice squad. They bring that player up after the 2nd week of bringing him up for games, then people can pick them up. So it says right now, where to go? Throughout the week, you will have 53 players on their active roster up until the deadline for transactions for their game. He might pay attention. Never mind. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Scheduled by 4 p.m. on Saturday, September 5th. This says the Steelers because that's what the article's about. But the Steelers will be getting down to 53 players. After the 24-hour waiting period for players to be claimed on waivers, the Steelers can then sign their 12-person practice squad, which it went up from 10, right? So practice squad grew from 10 to 12. Throughout the week, the Steelers will have 53 players on the active roster up until the deadline for transactions for their game, which is 4 p.m. the day prior. The Steelers will have an opportunity to elevate 2 players from the practice squad if they choose. In years past, the elevation of any practice squad player would mean another player would have to be released in order to make room. But with the new CBA, teams can pull up 2 players each week without having to make an additional roster move. It is the action where the 55-man roster has come into play for this season. So depending on if a team elevates any players in the practice squad, it will determine how many inactives they have on game day. With teams able to have up to 48 players active, assuming they have at least 8 offensive linemen among those, the inactive list will range from 5 to 7 players, depending on if a team has 53, 54, or 55 players on their roster. So,
it's a dumbass article. It said everything that we all knew already. It's a 55-man roster if a team wants it to be.
it's not, though.
I don't understand.
It's not, though. That's what I'm saying. It's technically when the season starts, you're not going to 55 men. You're going to 53.
But you can if you want.
No, you can't. You can't until after you set your practice squads. You have to go 53,
I get that.
set
You
your practice squad, and then you
let
can
everything
add
clear,
2
and then
additional.
you can add 2 guys to it. So
Each
before we take a first snap in the NFL, we will have 55-man rosters
For that week, yeah.
for every week, unless you demote them. But that's it. It's the same thing, man. All right.
Read the
I
article.
hear you. I
Read
get
the
what
article.
you're saying.
You hear me. You don't see me. You hear me.
Now we see you too.
Read the article.
I'm like, he said all that, and I'm like, yeah. So it's 55 men, 48 active on game day.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. Let's just show up, suit up, win.
Well,
Whatever
I think it matters because of how you're not exposing players who can be stashed on the practice squad. It has a lot to depend on who makes this team, and then bringing people up. It literally says here It literally said, I'm going to send you this part right here.
Don't send it to me.
The list shall not exceed 53 players unless a club has chosen to elevate 1 or 2 players from its practice squad to its active or /inactive list.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. So it's a 53. It's going to be 53 unless the team says, "Hey, I'm going to bring up a lineman and a whatever."
No.
Right? I
Not
thought
a
one of the
lineman.
players had to be a
Just 2
lineman.
other players.
Oh, I thought to be the 55, one had to be an extra lineman, and then it could be another player. No? Okay.
No, that's the game day roster extension. That's different from the 55.
Okay.
But I do see the confusion. I understand what you're saying. So the thing is,
The player
When you
automatically
first-
reverts back to the practice squad after the game.
when you first make
You
your
mean
roster
the
cuts,
two from the 55? Those players go back to the okay.
Those 2, yes.
Okay.
when you first make your roster cuts, you have
Mhm.
to cut down to 53. That's
Okay.
the difference. I thought, and now if that's where we're gonna say that the difference here is
I thought we cut down to 55.
right. You can't cut down to 55. You have to cut down to 53.
Okay.
Then you go to the practice squad, and then you can elevate 2 more people to your 55-man roster.
Okay.
That's-
That's it. I
Right,
just
and they can't be exposed to waivers, and you don't like it said in there. Normally, if you want to bring up somebody from the practice squad, you have to inactivate somebody, right?
Okay.
To bring them up to make a roster.
reactivate them.
Right now, you don't have to because you get those 2 extra pieces as long as one is an offensive lineman. You can bring up a receiver. Secondly, they don't get exposed to waivers until after their second week being brought up.
Okay. So the best way to say this is it's a 53-man roster with the option of 55. Like the option to have 55 every week.
Yes.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yes. All right. Let's move on from the 55-man roster that's not a 55-man roster that really is a 55-man roster.
Let's get to these pressers, man.
All right. So, Nick, Breezy chose where to start. Now we're going to move on to pressers. Which one do you want to start with? This way I know you hear me.
What'd you say? Oh, let me start with let's start with Kyle Shanahan. I mean,
Yeah, he spoke the longest, man. That
man
dude-
of arms, right? So
He be giving
Um,
speeches, boy.
yeah, the biggest takeaway that I had with Kyle Shanahan is obviously the Dante Pettis question again. the Dante Pettis question came up, and he said, I've been looking forward to all year seeing how Dante Pettis came back, right? This is him talking. So obviously he had something on his mind all offseason about Dante Pettis. He said that when he first saw Dante Pettis, he didn't get a chance to talk to him, obviously due to the COVID. They had to stay away from each other and things like that. He did get a chance to talk with him, and he said he was really impressed with the way Dante Pettis came back. Whether it be his body, the way he was in shape, the amount of training he put in, his body build, and there was one other thing, body build. But either way, it doesn't matter. Then you go into practice, right? And he said that Dante Pettis is being really aggressive. Not something we're used to hearing. Aggressive. His route running has been really crisp, and he just looks like he's ready to ball this year. And that's basically what Kyle Shanahan said. That's a big takeaway. We know how Kyle Shanahan has not really said much about receivers, right? Dante Pettis being one of them. Dante Pettis was active, inactive all year long. For him to praise Dante Pettis and other people that have been watching camp as well, I hear them as well, talking about how far he looks like he's come. Kyle Shanahan basically said he came here knowing that he had to put the work in to make this team or be a player, a special player on this team. He flat out said that. He knew that he had to come back here to make this team. So what are your guys' takes away from that? It was interesting.
Yeah, I like what he had to say about Pettis. He said he was very excited about Pettis, had his best practice on Tuesday, and his demeanor and aggression in the routes is what's been really impressive. Talking about that fearlessness going across the middle. We talked about him being timid at times going across the middle. You know what I'm saying? But he seemed to really appreciate that from him, and said that he's been impressive in that. So that was pretty cool on the Dante Pettis front.
Yeah, here's one thing you guys didn't touch on that he said about Dante Pettis, and this is what cracked me to F up, because he basically said he gave Dante all this praise at wide receiver, but he basically said he won't be returning punts or kickoffs for the simple fact that shit, he ain't got hands. He can't catch the ball. And he didn't necessarily single him out, right? But he said, and they asked him about Dante Pettis' punt return, and he said he's got to be better than the other guys. That's what he said. He's got to be better than other guys. And this is not a negative, tendency to go towards Dante. This is not a knock on him or whatnot, but this is probably why we have not seen Dante Pettis return the ball. And Mike, he kind of answered why Richie James was our punt returner or our kickoff returner. He kind of answered it. He said that, it's cool to have a guy, break one for a touchdown and take one to the house, but that rarely happens. He's like, I'm about consistency. I need a guy that's going to catch the ball each and every time. And if he averages 10 yards on the return, then it's 10 yards on the return. He kind of put it out there to why. Now we know why Richie James was always there, but Richie James is hurt. So whoever is going to be that guy needs to be that guy. So I kind of like that. It let me know that Kyle Shanahan wasn't BSing about the praise for Dante Pettis, because he clearly didn't praise him about punt returning.
We accepting that response from Breezy? Y'all just want me to look like I'm arguing everything. I'm gonna let it go. It's cool.
Don't argue with it, bro. Come on, because I got the notes right here, dog.
The note's cool, but I mean, he did say what you were saying, but he was directly asked, what does Pettis have to do to become the punt returner? And then he was talking about all the different punt returners. He said some guys are really fast and they're good in open space. He was like, but it's no good if you can't catch the ball. He said we have some guys who can get, a first down every time they receive it. They're only going to get 10 yards, but they're never going to bust one all the way back. We have some guys who are only going to get 3 or 4 yards, but every 20 attempts they can take one a long distance or all the way. He never said which one Dante Pettis fell in.
Bro, have we seen him there?
That's why I said I ain't want to argue.
Have we seen him there?
Nope.
then that answers the question. Listen, I did want to point out, if you guys heard me say "oh my" or "oh my goodness" or "oh man," if you heard me say that while these guys were talking, it was because the alert came through that Coach Ron Rivera for the Washington football team has been diagnosed with cancer. So we definitely want to keep him up in our prayers. We're not sure how it's going to, pan out for him for the regular season, but we are praying here for you from Nothing But Niners. So if anybody's watching the show and they can let you know that we have you up in our prayers, brother, please, 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 please do what you got to do to pull through with this one, man, because you're a great guy.
Even wearing the colors. Even wearing the colors.
Oh, see, it's all meant, man. It's all meant to be. I know Mike likes to argue, but come on, Mike. He did not single out Dante Pettis. You're 100% correct. But the same way you be juicing up juice, you be trying to. I'm gonna do it. God, I might not do it as good as you, but that's what it is. He was calling out Dante Pettis can't catch field balls. Brandon Ayuk can't field them neither. He dropped a couple in practice. I bet you he won't be returning punts. So It is what it is. All right. So let's move on. Oh,
wait, Nick talked about the Pettis part of the presser. Was there anything you took away from head coach's presser?
Oh, absolutely. I wanted to talk about the running back position because clearly his guy, his guy is Tevin Coleman. I don't care what anybody say, and I've been saying it on this show. I couldn't explain it like Kyle Shanahan because I ain't the head coach, but everything he said, it was what I was saying. That's his guy. He specifically said, Mostert pretty much ended up being the start running back as the season went along. He ended up doing a lot of the work, but he was like, when you have a guy like Tevin Coleman who can kind of like take some of those hits, who can get you 4 yards, and take some of those hits to put some wear and tear on the defense, that's pretty much why that guy's in there, doing what he has to do. And then it softens the D. That's exactly what I said on the show 3 shows ago, maybe 4, but I know what I'm talking about because I watched the games just like you, and then we watch them again and again. So
you're still not understanding what I'm trying to say.
That's to Mike. No, Mike, don't fix this. Oh, Mike be throwing shade. Why Mike you throwing shade
today?
I see, trying to wipe the boogers out his eyes. It's cool.
And during that, Shanahan admitted, yes, we treated Mostert like the.
I said that.
Wait, I know. But he said, I also know that the starting rep means some things to some people, so we continue to give it to Tevin Coleman. He knew that it meant something to give it to him. So that means that he was intentionally, that was the discussion we were having. He was intentionally, he knew the game plan was going to be for Mostert to get 17 touches today, but we're not going to let him get that first one. He admitted that it meant something for Coleman to start. Is it an ego thing? Maybe. We don't know. He didn't say exactly what it was, but he did say something about that.
Well, it goes back to like what we've been saying about the whole Mostert thing when we were talking about should Mostert be a starter. It's a change of back type system. And Mostert is the guy that he depends on more to be able to get those long and harder yards with his speed. And you're changing up. You go from a fast dude, right, to a faster dude.
Yep.
And then you have a Jerick McKinnon who is fast and can run routes and be able to catch the ball and as well. So that's why I was saying before, and Breezy as well, was it's a change of pace back system. I believe he even said something like that. Look, people get more snaps as the game goes along. Mm-hmm. But we go in as this is what we're doing right here, and we change it up, and that's exactly what we were saying the whole time. And it's not that Mostert doesn't deserve to take that very first snap. It's just that's the way Kyle Shanahan does it. He changes up the pace, and you don't know when you're going to get Mostert or Mosterati or whatever you want to call him. And he uses Mostert to his fullest advantage in the best way that he's going to be successful.
Guys, we have a system, and I'm happy that as of right now, the system is healthy. It's going to be a problem. We got some change of pace backs, man. We got some bruisers. We got young guys. Someone asked, why can't a young guy do it? I'm sure a young guy can. But listen, man, this one thing I know about Coleman, man, he holds on to the ball. He gets hit and holds on to the ball. And that's something that Kyle Shanahan, that you have to be able to hold on to that ball. Because you see what happens when you don't. Ask Breida. Go ahead.
Something else he said about Coleman part that I really, really like. I actually wrote this in here. Remember when we had that conversation about is this offense physical or finesse?
Yes.
And we were like, it's a finesse style, but he wants physical play.
There you
Remember
go.
that, right? My man said it's something different when Coleman carries the ball. He said, I like watching the linebackers and safeties get up off the ground after they have to stop him.
That's what he said, bro.
He brings the thud. He brings it, man.
That's what he said, yo.
I like it. I like it a whole lot. I really did. I like that part. I was like, okay, I got to mention this. I have a whole thing on here, but you said everything else, so that was the last part of it you didn't say.
Somebody commenting here before we take this down, but I want to say NorCal Faithful 77 said Cal said something in the line of Mostert was more comfortable coming off the bench.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I might have missed it though. I was listening while I was driving, so I might have missed it.
Who said that? Kyle said.
Notes.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Kyle said in the line of Mostert, something in the line of Mostert is more comfortable coming off the bench.
I didn't hear him say that, but okay.
Really blurry on your screen, Nick?
Yeah, crazy blurry.
I'm not blurry on. That's weird because I'm not blurry on my screen.
Dude, I can barely see.
I thought I'm sitting here like, yo, am I tripping over here? Like, what's happening?
Am I blurry to y'all out there?
So we got a couple of comments here that we're going to read. This one's from JT the Great. Thank you for
I think they're saying now.
In the words of Mike, I'm just saying. If we're healthy, Jimmy winning league MVP and Super Bowl MVP. Remember, JT said it. LOL, stay dangerous, fellas. Go NBN. My God.
He said I'm faded. All right.
I like that. And then this one, we have a prayer here. We said prayers up. Sean wrote one in here for, we lost Breezy. Sean wrote one in here for us. It says, Jesus, we lift up Ron Rivera. In the name of Jesus, we ask that your kingdom would surround him. There is no disease in heaven, so make his life as it is in heaven. We bless him. We bless him in your name, Jesus. So, amen. Thank you, Sean, for that. We really, really, really appreciate it, guys. Like we said, prayers up for Rivera. We're going to keep our eyes on whatever hashtag they decide. There you go, Breezy. Nice, crystal clear, man. You ruined the Oreo, but it's cool. I know you like this layout better, so we're going to rock with this one. All right?
I like this layout better, too.
I mean, y'all let me be blurry that this whole time we've been on the air.
It wasn't
blurry.
Oh,
it wasn't that time.
Okay. That's weird. All right. Well, I'm back. Mike, did you get something out of Kyle's presser other than Tevin Coleman? And we'll move on to the other two, and then we'll end with the Bosa joint, I think.
One more thing I got here from the presser. Shanahan said, I have two things here, so I don't know if y'all want me to do it. But he said ones and twos are mixing a lot this year. When he was talking about the wide receivers and the corners. He said ones and twos are mixing a lot. So he said that he knows beat writers are by the way, actually, I'll say it afterwards. He said he knows that beat writers were kind of making a big deal about, this guy was getting reps with the ones and this guy wasn't and all that. He was saying that they've been mixing it up a lot this year because they really feel a lot of their guys can do both. So it's no significant step back. He said that BA, Brandon Ayuk, is ahead mentally and physically, but he expects him to play significantly just like they did with Deebo Samuel and Jalen Hurd. What excited me about that was hearing what he had to say about Hurd. We knew what the plan was for Deebo, but now this is the first time he's admitted it because we didn't have film. Yeah. We couldn't see film. We now know that he has significant plays designed for Jalen Hurd, just like he did with Deebo. Yeah. And remember when he said, hey, he's hurt, but he'll be back next year? Now we know why. There is a portion of Kyle Shanahan's playbook that has Jalen Hurd's name stamped across every single page.
You think he threw it? You think he threw it in the trash can like he threw Jerick McKinnon's package in the trash can when he tore his ACL?
I don't think he threw any McKinnon stuff that way.
He said he did. He said he did because remember the joke was running around asking him they kept asking him was he gonna go find that trash bag he threw the plays in, to get the stuff out.
I don't remember any of this.
I think he creating a whole new dynamic, yo. I mean, he knows who his players are. I don't know. Who knows? I'm hoping he doesn't. I hope nobody else finds it. Nobody else has it. They don't have players like a Jalen Hurd anyway. So, yeah, man, it sucks. But injuries happen, and we just gotta.
I never knew that he threw the playbook out.
I don't know. I think he said like basically I threw that out because there was a lot in there for Jerick McKinnon, meaning like he's not there.
Certain plays, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it was an entire playbook, but. I remember that, Breezy.
Not the playbook, but I meant like his set of plays.
Yeah, his set of plays, yeah. I don't think he threw them out to where he doesn't know what they are. I think he's
No, I think he knows what they are. I think
out of the Arsenal. Took them out of the Arsenal.
Yeah.
I have one more thing about Kyle Shanahan. If after you, Mike.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I was about to change subjects.
Kyle Shanahan basically blatantly said that he's not going to be open like he's always been before about what's going on in camp. Due to the fact that we don't know. He's like, I think he said, we don't know what Arizona's going to do week 1.
Right.
Any ideas of who's going to be where. And we don't want them to know where we're going to be at either. Because there's no tape because of preseason. And he said, that he's basically going to be more hush than he's been before about the things that are going on at camp. And I think he was trying to take a hit at our media as well with saying that. Like, you guys can't keep asking me these questions basically because I'm not going to give you any answers because people can't find out until week 1. We can't give out our secrets now, basically. Same thing Jimmy Ward kind of did, right? Jimmy Ward was talking about, well, I guess you're going to have to watch week 1 to see what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes our media asks these questions to where and Kyle Shanahan's been openly blatant about things that have gone on with this team, as in who's playing where, positions, oh, well, yeah, Kendrick Bourne's going to take some snaps at Y, or X, whatever it may be. He's been open like that before. But this year, he's like, I'm not giving you anything. So, how do you feel? Like Kyle Shanahan, Kyle.
He said he's going to mislead.
Right. He said that's exactly what he said. So that I like that Kyle Shanahan. I mean, it sucks for us because we're not getting a whole lot of news and what things are going on, but it also makes us work and watch tape more to see what is going on. So I like this. I like this side of Kyle Shanahan. I think he should be, less talkative because they were like in the thing too. I believe somebody wrote something up about it afterwards, and they were like, "Well, the fans love him for it too because they tell the fans pretty much everything, right?" So don't expose yourself. Like, I love it. Like, I think that's how an NFL team should be.
I like it. I like it a lot. So
yeah,
there were a couple other pressers here, and I have some notes from the day. Let's go with Ross Dwelly, only because I don't know I didn't get a whole lot from him.
His presser was 2 minutes.
Well, not only that, but it was like very like, what'd you do this all? I worked on my footwork and speed. Like, like I just worked on becoming an overall better player.
Oh, is George Kittle a different person because he got paid now? Like,
why are they asking him that? I don't know. Anyway,
because no, wait, hold on now. That's a fair question.
It is.
It's because people they say money doesn't change a person; it enhances the person, right?
He's the same guy. I feel like they've been asking that question to everybody though. Like they should know the answer. They've been getting the same answer. That's my point. That's my only gripe with it. But I guess because he's in the tight, they didn't ask another tight end, I guess. So I guess that's why it was fair. But at least I got to see him on tape today. Like, I got to see him catch a ball. He better get a little bit lower, dip that shoulder just a little bit lower, man, because he looked like he could get stood up. Like, I don't know if you saw him make it was a nice catch. Good grab. Oh, yes, he is. Okay. And the reason being is because he's a utility piece.
Shanahan said somebody better give us a reason to keep 4 tight ends.
Oh my God! Oh, they asked him about Charlie Warner too, and he
said that somebody better give us a reason to keep 4 tight ends.
Maybe Jordan Reed doesn't make the roster.
All right, that's cool. All right, that's route runner. You said he's not gonna make it. That's cool. What did you take anything? Go ahead, Nick. I saw you wanted to jump in there.
They asked him about Jimmy Garoppolo and his second season coming in. He's, basically said that, he looks like he, not that he's gotten any better, but he looks like he's gotten better with his decision making and the quickness of the playbook, knowing where to go with the football a lot quicker. Mm-hmm. He did say that, so that was a good takeaway about Jimmy G, because we haven't really heard anything on Jimmy G, and that question was asked to Jimmy Garoppolo last week, kind of about the deep ball type thing. And Jimmy was just like, well, yeah, I always practice that, type thing. So has Jimmy really worked on his decision making and reading the defenses, like Wayne was attributing to before when he said that Jimmy Garoppolo could be one of those guys that changed the play at the front of the line. So, that.
What happened, Nick?
The mic keep going in the screen like.
Am I still blurry?
No, what's on your neck? What is
On
that?
my-
It's a 49. What is that? Is that a lanyard?
Oh yeah, it's to my headphones. I got some 49er headphones.
It's this guy. Okay. All right.
I can't have 40. You got a fucking head gator on your head. I can't have 49.
I didn't know what I'm like. Is it a lanyard? But it looked like it was plugged into something. Like I never seen an electric lanyard. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
It's like a casing
And
that goes
Nick
over
paid
my.
attention to me at the wrong time. He's supposed to be talking. I'm trying to get close.
Yeah,
to
bro, I'm looking at the
You just
screen.
shut up.
I'm retiring from this
And
nothing
then
but
Nick
Niners
get
show,
closer to me,
guys.
like he's trying to look me in my eyes. Like, bro, back up out my face.
Back up out my face, bro. But yeah, I mean, look, this tight end room is going to be pretty interesting, right? Because obviously Charlie Warner is here. We went and got at Jordan Reed. Ross Dwelly has filled in for fullback, tight end. He's played all over the place, and that question was asked to him today, and said, "What are you doing on the field?" And he's like, "Well, I'll do anything that I'm needed to do. So I'll do, fullback, I'll do tight end, I'll do receiver. It doesn't matter. Whatever I need to do, I'll do for this team." So, he kind of hinted at not keeping 4 tight ends, right? So let me ask you guys this, because I saw something somewhere. Would Jordan Reed be a guy to go to the practice squad?
I could see him go to practice squad because of the veteranship, because you can have a certain amount of vets on there, and they're also easing him back in. If you heard Kyle Shanahan talk about in his presser, he said that they're easing Jordan Reed back in. He hasn't even put on pads yet, so it's possible that he's going to be there for the long haul, and that they're going to try to figure out a way to keep him stashed and release him when they release the Kraken on these mother suckers, yo. I really think that's what it's going to come down to.
Jordan Reed will not make the 49ers practice squad. If Jordan Reed is healthy, another team is going to scoop him up. It's that simple.
But there's nothing on him. There won't be anything on him.
It don't have to be.
Bro, he was out there the whole offseason.
People remember what Jordan Reed did when he was healthy. Bro,
and the fact that Kyle took him.
If Tyler Eifert can get another job still, Jordan Reed's going to get another job.
Eifert was never the same after those ACL joints.
A free agent before. Like that man gets signed quicker than anybody, and he's always injured. Because people know the value of a good tight end. So I just don't think he makes it to our practice squad. Not that he's not eligible, not that what Breezy said isn't true. I just think that if the Niners cut him, somebody's going to move him in there and just be like, "Hey, let's."
He'll be right in Seattle, yo.
Yeah, yes. This comment here is from Ollie Bear. Thank you, Ollie, for the contribution. Mahalo, professors, for keeping us informed and educated on what's going on with our players. And Nothing But Niners is definitely the best 49ers YouTube station. I see prayers. I see the cross, the heart. Much aloha. Oh, love much. I get it. Okay, aloha, Ollie. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Thank you for the contribution. And there was one more right under it. Let me get back up here to it.
It's like we want to make fun, not make fun, but it's concussions. It's not something that it's not like a player wants to go out there and get a concussion.
Injuries, just period. I see people saying that they're disappointed in Jalen Hurd.
Like you can't be disappointed in a guy that his ACL just went pop. Like how? Like I don't understand. Like I get it. We're frustrated and we want to see these players play, but they can't control injuries. It's not like they can avoid it, but then it's like Final Destination. If it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. Like you can't escape the injury. Like it happens, guys.
And that's the thing, especially with ACLs, man. Like most of them anymore, 95% of them are non-contact injuries.
Yeah, when that rubber band pops in the knee, it pops. You just don't know when it's gonna pop. And I know he wasn't making fun of him, but I just think we gotta just relax on these guys. The fact that Kyle they're really easing him back in means that Kyle wants him on this squad. How he gets on this squad, I don't know, but I know Kyle wants him on this squad, and That's one of the main reasons why they went and got him. That's why I said they were going to get him, because he's familiar with the system. And when healthy, he's probably the best route running tight end in the NFL.
This is the comment I thought I was clicking on. Maybe Vernon Davis. I swear I thought this is what I clicked on.
Somebody posted reposted a Vernon Davis camp fight.
All he was doing was jumping on somebody.
It looked like the defensive line, whoever was 99 at that time, was getting worked. And Vernon gave him the hands. And then I forgot. And Mike Nolan was the coach, I think, at the time, because Nolan was yelling at Vernon for beating up the dude. And I'm saying to myself, well, the dude was coming at Vernon. Vernon was no punk.
Well, but it would be interesting to see what happens, man. I think I would take Delaney Walker over Vernon though right now. But that's just me.
I know we didn't do this yet, but we really need to start doing our 53.
I know. I was about to ask you guys about that earlier.
Because we didn't do that yet. We usually do that. We do our early prediction, and we do one like a week before.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, can we just wait till the week before, being that there's no preseason? Can we just do one?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Normally we do an early one before preseason starts, which last week would have been the first preseason game. And then we usually go into a week before and do our finals.
Manny Lawson was on his backside that whole practice.
Now, you guys are talking about fights. We're going to get to that later on because we heard about some camp scuffles today.
Yeah. Kyle said he got to go watch that tape, dog. Somebody going to get the switch.
Let's stick with these pressures. We have two more. There's Brandon Ayuk and Nick Bosa. I picked Ross Dwelly because I was trying to get out the way. All right, Nick, is back on you to pick one.
Let's do Brandon Ayuk.
The long arm man.
Yo, BA, man. Niner fans are going to love this kid.
Yeah. He knows how to talk, too.
Like, he's smooth with his words. He says all the right stuff. He's very intelligent. You can tell he's very intelligent. And he seems so, he's like, yeah. So about that, like he seems so in tune with the media. And obviously, he's a rookie. He's not used to this. So he's probably, being on his best behavior as well. But the things that Kyle Shanahan has been saying about him, he deserves and he's earned those first team reps to play on the team. Whether it was injury or not injury, the kid came in here to work. And that's basically what he said. I still can't think about who he reminds me of, right? Because we talked like, oh, he's just like Debo. Oh, he's just like Pettis. Oh, he's just like – all of us had said somebody different, right? Like, I thought he was more like Debo. Mike, you said he was like Pettis. I don't remember who you said, Wayne. I can't remember.
I said he was like Brandon Ayuk. That's what I said.
You ain't say that.
Yes, I did.
Oh, shit. I thought I was on mute.
But, a video just came out of him scoring a touchdown today in practice, and it was a one-handed catch. It reminded me of a Debo catch. He came in. His other hand was caught up. He came in. He grabbed the ball. The ball came out a little bit. He stayed with the focus and then brought it in and landed on the ground and caught it for 6, right? So you can tell that he's focused. He's locked in as to what he needs to do this year. And, I mean, everything that he said today was just on point, right? He was talking about how he just wants to get better, how he just wants to make this team, how he just wants to do this. But the biggest takeaway for me from Ayuk today, man, was he's smooth, he's laid back, and he works his ass off.
Yeah, I really like the way our rookies have been speaking between him and Kinlaw. Like I felt like Kinlaw is straight genuine. It's all emotion. He's just really happy to be in the NFL, right? And then Brandon Ayuk, he's not trying to be the man. Like, that's what I get from him. He's just coming up here trying to play a role, do what he got to do to fit in, and however it makes out for him, it's what it's going to be. I can't wait to see this kid play, man. I can't really compare him to anybody, to be honest, because I just want to see him play. I really think he's a one of a kind. He's probably going to have like a catch radius of like Megatron mixed with some Nuke. Like it's gonna be a prop. Like the arm span is ridiculous. You know that he has hands when it comes to
Nobody talk about Megatron on the show. Now all of a sudden we mention his name.
Mike, can I freaking speak, bro?
All right, okay, Megatron.
Jeez, these I ain't say the white Megatron, but no, listen. So this kid is going to be a problem. Yeah, he had like Cali OBJ, but with a better attitude, You know what I'm saying? And it's not like he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. And if he is playing with some type of chip on his shoulder, it's really internal and he's dealing with it or whatnot. I just can't wait to see him go on the field and ball out. If he's killing it in practice amongst our starting defense, which is the number 1 defense, number 2, whatever they want to rank us at, this kid is going to be a problem, man. And he's catching passes from Jimmy Garoppolo. He's catching passes from Nick Mullins. He's catching passes from CJ Beathard. Listen, I think Brandon Ayuk is going to be a problem. And having him and Debo on the field, and you throw in some Kendrick Bourne, you throw in whatever it is we need to throw in, it's going to be a problem for offenses because he's not a slow guy. So we got speed with hands and route running. This team is going to be electric, and I can't wait to see it.
You know, one of the other things that he said, they asked him about Garoppolo's quick release and if it was any different than what he was working with previously in college. And he said, yeah, you know, if you're doing like a curl, like the ball is on you right away. Or if he's trying to squeeze it in a tight window, it's right there. And I was wondering, we know how long his arms are. Like when he's talking, it looks like this. Like he's sitting there, yeah, and that's how his arms look. It was like, yo, where are your wrists, bro? Like what is going on right now, right? But I was wondering if the ball getting on you quickly like that, is it going to be hard? Like if the ball's coming here, is it harder for somebody to get those arms all the way up and catch it? Because he said to get to them quicker than he expects.
I think that's
that we're going to see. Like, I mean, obviously he's going to have to adjust over time, but do you think that's something he's going to struggle with, or nah, he's a wide receiver, he's been used to it?
I think he's going to adjust to it, you know, and I think this is what these practices is for, and this is why you see him running reps a lot with the first team, second team. Like he's running a lot of reps because he needs to get that, you know, catch radius from this particular quarterback. He needs to figure out how do I need to get my hands ready in position. Am I going to use all hands? Do I have to reach out? Obviously, you're seeing him reach out, catching one-handed passes. But this is good for him. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a hindrance for him going into the regular season. We all know it's going to change when regular NFL speed kicks off. But this kid can get open, Mike. And I think that's something we are not talking about. He's getting open. Like we said that our wide receivers struggle with getting open. This kid is getting open. I know they're playing against one another, but look, them defensive players ain't holding back. Matter of fact, the coach Kyle Shanahan has to dial the defense back a little bit in practice because Cass is getting injured. So, and it all started with that Fred Warner hit.
Oh, trust me, I got the notes. We're gonna get to that. That's big. That is big. And there's that led to two things that I want to talk about. But before we do that, though, one more comment that Ayuk made was that he compared. He said there's no drop off between the first three corners on the entire roster.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to ask y'all this before I said that.
But he doesn't he seem to be having more success though against Jason Verrett in practice opposed to the other two?
Everybody has been, and that's not a shot at Jason. But remember that deep pass that they showed him catch 2 or 3 days ago? Yeah, that was against Verrett. Like it just seems like I don't know. Everyone's telling me that they're working Verrett back slowly and all that. It's just 2 years later. Like he's either got it or he doesn't at this point. But I don't know. But he did say that the first three corners, he said that it seemed to be no difference in them as far as like physicality, intelligence, and things like that. So I wanted to ask you guys, who do you think were the top three? He said they were physical, fast, and smart. I wanted to ask you guys who you guys think your top three corners on this roster are, because he didn't say whether he was lining up in the slot or not, but we also know K1 isn't practicing, because I think I would have K1 in my top three if we're just talking corners.
Okay.
But now that he's not there, I think we have to take him out. You guys tell me I'm wrong. Maybe he did get enough practice against K1, but K1's been gone for a while now, right? Like, what, almost a week?
Almost a week, yeah.
So I was going to take him out. Are we going to do this exercise with him in there or no?
We can take him out.
All right. So then with him out, who do you think the top three corners are that he's referring to?
Sherman,
Mm-hmm.
Mosley, and Spoon.
You said it like, yeah, it's got to be like that was like you didn't really want to.
No, I
Or-
did, but I'm
Oh.
sitting here going through my mental Rolodex, and I'm seeing Verrett get burnt 95 times and Spoon not get burnt 95 times. So I just want to, I just wanted to make sure I said the right name. I'm trying to figure out why Verrett is getting so much praise, though, because that's what confused me. That's what's confusing me.
All right, let me respond to the praise thing real quick. You know what Shanahan did a lot last year? He praised Pettis a lot, and then Pettis didn't really do anything. And then Shanahan tried to flip the script and got nasty with Pettis
Right.
at the microphone, and that didn't do anything. And then the next thing you know, Pettis don't even get dressed. So I don't know if it's like trying to boost him up or what, but I don't know. I can't call it, man. I can't call it. But you are hearing a lot of positive things, especially when John Lynch gets to the microphone.
Yeah.
No one would be asking him. They'd be like, "So, John Lynch, how was your day? Did you guys see Jason Verrett?" Like, all right, bro, we get it. You like him. But Nick, what are your top three? What do you think about why Verrett's getting praised? All of that.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Mark is so corny, cuz he was supposed to say you're on mute, but nah, he's just
No, he's not going to. He's messing with me tonight. It's all right. John Lynch never has to deal into his mental Rolodex, right? I haven't heard that in forever, Wayne. But look, I just rewatched that play again, and that one-handed catch was probably a PI on the defense, and it was Jason Verrett. And he was knocking down Ayuk when he caught that ball one-handed today, right? So you asked smart, physical, and what was the other one?
finesse.
Finesse?
Oh, fast.
Fast.
Fast, yeah.
Okay.
He said the top three. There's no drop off between the top three guys. They're all fast, physical, fast, and smart.
Physical, fast, and smart. Smart is definitely going to be Richard Sherman, right? No speed, obviously. He's physical when he has to tackle, but he's not physical up against you, right?
We haven't seen him play press.
No, we have. You
Not
said we
much.
have.
I'm just saying, like in this system that he's been, he hasn't.
Oh, right. No, not in the 49ers system. I'm just saying that I don't think he's the most physical. I think Emmanuel Mosley is probably the most physical corner. I think Richard Sherman is the most smart.
So Verrett's got to be the fastest then.
Speed would be, I would think Verrett, but I'm going to go with Akello here. And the reason I'm going to go with Akello is we've seen flashes from Akello, right? And we haven't seen anything from Verrett in 3 years, 4 years. Physical talent-wise, if they're both healthy, I would take Verrett. But I don't know if Verrett is that guy that he was before because of how long he's been out of the game, right? We were all worried about Trent Williams. How's he going to be being out of the game, right? Obviously, we got reports on that today, and we'll talk about that. But we don't know. We don't know what we're going to get out of Jason Verrett. We've seen one play from him, and he got toasted, and then he went back on the IR. So
Got toasted on 2 plays.
right. That's what I'm saying. So he's, I'm going to go with the 3 since we can't. I would definitely have K'Wan Williams in there. But since we're leaving him out, I'm going to go with Spoon, Emmanuel Mosley, and Richard Sherman.
Yeah. If K'Wan was in there, it would be Sherman. My order would be Sherman, K'Wan, and then Mosley. But listen, question. Shit, forgot it. Oh, we said that, I think Nick alluded to Verrett possibly playing nickel. He has the speed. He kind of has the size. My question is, does he have the physicality? Because you heard K'Wan say, to play nickel, you got to be able to stop the run. You got to be on the pass. You got to be able to take a hit, shed it off. It's like you're another linebacker, but not as big as a linebacker. You're faster than a linebacker. So can Can he play that? Can he sustain that? That would be number one. My first question, part A to my first question. And part B, guys, we're not talking about this kid named Jamar Taylor, man. Listen, Robert Saleh has been, he hasn't been getting the Ronald Blair praise, but I think they like this kid. He's a journeyman, right? And he's seen a lot. So he's able to read and dissect plays and make plays on the ball, even if he's not supposed to. We don't know who he is. I get it. But this is the guy that's possibly going to fill in for K'Waun Williams if K'Waun Williams isn't a go. Thoughts? AB.
All right. So gave us a lot. The reason I don't speak about this guy is because I don't know anything about him. And with us not being able to see anything, I feel the same way I did the day that we signed him.
The interception that Dre Greenlaw came up with at the goal line, Taylor was guarding Jennings on that. And he, at the last minute, he was covering, last minute put his hand up, used his hands to hit the ball, went off his hand, off Jennings' hand into Greenlaw's hand. So the guy's around the ball in the videos that I watch, right? And he's making plays. But I agree with you, Wayne. Saleh literally said that. He says the kid is making plays when he's not even supposed to be making plays. He just has a niche for the ball. He just sees where it's going. He jumps it. He makes the play. And that comes from being that journeyman in different systems, knowing different things. But it's just like the Verrett thing, right? We haven't seen him physically play up close and personal. So where does he rank on that list, right? And that is where, like I said, if K'Waun Williams was on that list, he's definitely my top 3. He might be my top guy as a defensive back on this team, to be honest with you. And I've loved K'Waun Williams for a long time.
The shock.
But I really do think he's probably the best DB on this team.
Well, let's hope the 49ers do and pay this man because he'd be a free agent after the season.
All right. Let's keep it moving, though, guys. We got I have 2 more notes here for Brandon Ayuk's presser. I know we're kind of dragging this out, right? But he said that the coaching staff has really emphasized yards after catch, and what they talk about is how to do it. Like when you catch, what foot when the ball is in your hands, what foot is on the ground, and then how to react to that so you can best turn upfield and go, not carry your route out and then edge it off and start running upfield. It's the like catch and go. Like they want you to do it quickly. He was saying that he said in college we just kind of did it. Here they're teaching it and emphasizing on it. I thought that was big because that's what Kyle Shanahan has been doing. He was one of these guys who did it at a high level, and he admitted today he just did it naturally. It's not something he was trained to do. Now they're taking his natural ability and then training him to be even more efficient at it. That's scary. That is crazy good. That was one of the things I took away from it.
They're creating yak machines, Mike. Yak machines. That's what they're doing in San Francisco.
Yeah. Let me see how to react when the ball was in your hands. The other thing was, Breezy talked on this earlier, but this dude he didn't sound exciting about returning punts.
He dropped 2, man. And he probably got cussed out.
He sounded so defeated when they asked him the questions about return. God, you got to go back and watch the presser, man. The team should have it broken up by now. It's been a couple hours, but he just sounded defeated. Like, yeah, he didn't have much positive to say about it. And he like Nick was saying earlier, he's a well thought out, well spoken young man. But right there, it was just like, yeah, like okay.
He wasn't ready for that question, yo. Like that's what it was. Because everybody's been asking him about how he's been receiving, how the quarterbacks have been, blah blah blah. How's it good adjusting? And then they hit him with the special teams, and then that was it for him, yo. That was it.
And then the very last thing I have from him was that Camp Jimmy was very helpful. A lot of times when people say how did things go, and then we've heard players say, when we got together in the offseason, it was cool, but, they're teaching us the way that they want us to do it here versus how we were just doing it out there. Ayuk actually said we got to pick up exactly where we left off. which means that they didn't have. I don't care if it. Think back to D Ford's 1% better every day, right? If I got to remember his name was Jimmy Garoppolo, that's one less thing I got to remember tomorrow. They got to pick up exactly where they left off. We don't know what that means or where it's going to contribute, but we know that it's something that there was progress made at Camp Jimmy, and now we're here. And now when we get to camp, we're not starting from here or here or here. We're starting from here, and we're going to keep going. And so I thought that was something very, very positive. You love to hear it. Think about that lockout year and how important Camp Alex was, right? That resulted in almost a Super Bowl appearance, but a 13-3 record and an NFC championship appearance. So those kind of things will help, especially with young guys. This guy was not in the NFL. He never played with the 49ers. He doesn't know anything about Shanahan's playbook. That's very, very important. The fact that not only did he get to go and do it, not only did he remember it, he retained it. He got to apply it. And so he picked up where he left off. He didn't have to double back and say, oh, I forgot this when he showed me and had to do it all over again. We kept it moving from the progress we made during the offseason. So I thought that was dope also. That is my last thought on him. Anybody else have any thoughts on Ayuk? Nope. All right. The last presser is Nick Bosa.
Bosa time.
Who wants to go first here? Because I got some stuff to talk about.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Well, we can start with the one-on-ones. They asked him about one-on-ones versus, I guess the regular battles, the 11-on-11s or whatever it is. And he actually said he prefers the team reps. He said he prefers the team reps because it's more of a real life situation. He says that he tries not to get caught up in the one-on-ones because he says sometimes you can dominate in the one-on-one and then be too cocky, and then sometimes you can not dominate and then feel defeated and don't perform well when you get to the team reps. He says, but performing in the team reps really is what he really owns on. But he does say the one-on-ones they can either, they make you sharper. They make you a better player. And it's great that he's going up against probably the best left tackle in football, who hasn't played in a couple of years. And that was one of the things Kyle talked about when they asked him about Trent Williams. They said, hey, man, how's Trent looking like? He's like, look, man, this guy hasn't played 2 years and he looked like he hasn't skipped a beat. So if you ever wonder, will Nick Bosa be better? Somebody asked that early out here. Can he be better? Is he going to be the same? Nick Bosa is going to be better because he's going up against better competition in practice. And you just think about it. If Trent Williams is the best left tackle in football and he's going up against the best, and then he goes up against maybe the second best, the third best, or whatever, he is going to be flying off the edge. And don't think about Nick Bosa just going to be the strong guy coming off that side and just getting it. Nah, man, he got some moves he's been working on. He got a spin move, and he got what was the other move called? There's a spin move. And
you going through all my notes, but no, I know what you're talking about. He called it I have it right here. Hold on, because I had to rewind it and listen to it a couple.
A cross chop. I want to see the cross chop.
I thought he said cross trap.
Oh, so maybe he said trap. I thought he said chop.
Yeah, so I think I have on here. Do we know what that is? But I think I figured out. I rewound it a couple times to hear him talk about it.
I thought he said cross chop, but trap, chop, whatever it is, it's a club move. Yeah, so it's a chop. That's what I thought. So I can't wait to see him. He said he couldn't use it on Trent because he's too damn big. I'm done, man. I can't wait, man. He's a soft-spoken dude, but good golly oh molly, he goes out there and play like he a giant. So I can't wait. It's going to be a problem.
All right. So, Mike, you recall we said I sent you a text message, I believe it was, and we were talking about how, yesterday, how Bosa was getting tore up by Trent Williams, right? Like,
no, it was today. He was 0 for 4 against Trent Williams.
Right. Yeah. So, and then your response to me was, I hope this doesn't – I think it was like something like, I hope this doesn't get in his head and mess him up.
I hope this doesn't demoralize him.
Right. Demoralize him, right? So, but then when Bosa was asked that question today, and just like Wayne just kind of mentioned, was he said he doesn't like the one-on-ones because he doesn't let it get to him because it can ruin your rest of your day or the entire game. So he doesn't let it get to him. So he's like, it's only making me better, basically, right? Knowing more and more what I have to work on. but it doesn't. So I just thought when he said that, I was thinking of minding your conversation was, is this demoralizing Nick Bosa? Because if you're going out there and you're getting your ass whooped, excuse my language, play after play after play after play, that, as a man, you're getting beat that much, right? So that has a chance and a potential to demoralize you and make you feel like you're not doing the right things. But then he comes out and says, I don't like the one-on-ones. I'd rather the team reps because, and they're like, well, how does that make you feel? And he's like, well, I can't let it get to me because if I do, I'm going to have a crappy team reps, and I can have a crappy rest of the day. And it's just going to get into my head. So I just go from one play to the next. And I thought he answered that great. And Mike, we were talking about that, so I thought it was crazy.
Okay. So that I was gonna call that back, but do you guys think it demoralized him? Let's tell the truth here for a second.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. I don't think it demoralizes him at all, honestly. I think that's just something that he was just, it was just something that I think he was saying that it can demoralize a player of what sort. Like you said, Nick, he shook it off and moved on to the next play. I don't think his brain set is in that mindset. He's a football player. So if you miss out on one, you go back, you throw that out, and you go and you get the next one. I think that's what it is. I really do. At least that's what we see. I mean, we've seen this guy get injured in the game, crawl to the ground, get back up, make a sack on the next play. I mean, that's what we see. So
I don't think it demoralizes him, but I think it definitely gets in his head. And the reason I think it gets into his head is because of his stellar rookie year, right? What he did to tackles. And then all of a sudden you get this guy, Trent Williams, comes in here. He's a bigger dude, right? And
short and stocky, baby.
Right. Well, with the way that he's built, it's just like, look, he couldn't get that club move today because he couldn't get to the outside hand.
Yeah.
Right. So these are things that, look, while it may not affect his play, I think it gets in his mindset as to what he can do better. And I think it bothers him a little bit, and it's going to make him want to work even harder.
Okay.
To be honest. And that's still, it's not demoralizing, but it's affecting.
Nick is on the shit today, man. He's damn near reading my script over here. Breezy, you say I do it to you a lot. Nick is in my bag over here. So, listen, I don't know if demoralize is the right word. That's the only reason I asked that because that's the word I said as soon as you sent me the 0 for 4 against Trent, right? But it's definitely affecting him to the point where he was like, I try not to count that period too much. It's not realistic. Like, he really tried to downplay it. You go from being the highest sought after defensive player in the entire draft, defensive rookie of the year, a Super Bowl appearance, and then you getting the snot beat out of you by this guy. Now, y'all told me when I got here that I was already going up against one of the best left tackles in the game. And me and Joe Staley had our battles. Mm-hmm. Well, I can't move this dude. What is wrong with me? What is happening right now?
Yeah, these are growing pains, Mike.
I know. But to sit here and say it's not affecting this dude, I think it's affecting him. Now,
I don't know if it's affecting him to the part. Like, I think what Nick said is right. If it is affecting him, he's going out trying to perfect what he's doing wrong.
Right.
Like, you hear what I'm saying? Because he wants. Yeah, I get what you're saying. He wants to learn how do I deal with these low gravity center motherfuckers? Like, that's what he's trying to figure out. Because if I get another guy like Trent, which he won't, but if I do get another guy like Trent, like, what do I do? So this is perfect for him.
Did you notice he compared him to, was it Dwayne Brown?
Dwayne Brown from the Seahawks.
The Seahawks tackle, as far as stature.
Yes.
Right. So he said that even if you beat Trent with the initial move, his recovery time is so fast that it doesn't even matter. It didn't make a difference. He said he couldn't do anything against this guy. And is it affecting him? Yes. Should it affect him? Yes. How it affects him is what we're going to see. It should affect you because you have to get better. You have to come up with some kind of counterplay. You have to come up with a way. And if you can't, then you have to go back to your defensive coordinator and say, hey, I need help on this guy. Let's try a stunt or something.
I want to know what Koseric's words are.
Huh?
I wish I can have a fly on the wall or fly in the air during the practice so I can just hear Chris Koseric cuss Nick Bosa out. Because Chris, here's the thing. We all think it's about the defensive line. It's not. It's about the coach. He doesn't like to get beat. That's what it is. He think he can play each and every one of the positions on the line better than each and every one of them. So his thing is, I'm trying to teach you how to get into position. Like you even hear Kinlaw talk about it. That man is he's a madman, right? So and Nick Bosa's alluded to it too. Yeah, man. But you understand he's yelling at us to make us better. So I wonder what was said from Chris Kocurek and Nick getting beat 4 times, because that's not normal. That's not normal. Now that does not mean Nick Bosa's not going to go out tomorrow and practice and have a 4-0 day. Like that's what we want, right? That's
that's exactly what, like you're saying, Wayne. That's exactly what it's doing. It's still affecting him, right? Okay. Because what I mean by affecting him is it's making him dig into his mind and his brain and kind of figure out how he can get better to beat these positional moves. Now, look, this is a really good matchup, right? And I'm not worried at all about Nick Bosa for the season because he can't beat Trent Williams, right? Trent Williams is one of the best to ever do it in the business. And if he's healthy and stays on the field, it looks to be that he's going to be that same guy, right? But what this does is it affects Nick Bosa to where he says, shit, this doesn't work on him. But this is also taking it further into his career, saying, okay, he's a bigger guy. This guy's a bigger guy. This is what Trent was doing to me. How did I beat Trent? Or how did I end up doing this with Trent? And so it does affect him, but that doesn't mean it's a negative effect, right?
Gotcha.
It still affects him. I think that it affects him, but it's kind of in a positive way. And it's to make him better. And I think this is just going to make year 2 of Nick Bosa that much better.
I'm with it, man.
You know, I was trying to look up the last time Big Brother Bosa played against Trent Williams. And I think they played each other in 2017. All right. I know that the Chargers played the Washington team then, but he had no sacks, no hurries, and just 3 total tackles. I mean, I'm not saying that.
I just think Trent's that good, guys.
This is something that he can't get over mentally, but this is good. We need to see that. This is, you know what the word is that this experience is for him? It's humbling.
Oh, yeah.
You've been the man all through college. You've been the man since you got drafted. You were the man all of last year. You're the highest voted rookie on the top 100 in NFL history, right? Like you got all these accolades
here.
Right. You got all these accolades, and all of a sudden, here comes one man. Just one. Not a team, not a scheme, right? Here comes one man. What you gonna do about it, punk? Like, and that's it. He's got to get over it. I love it. Hopefully, he feeds off of this experience the right way. That's what we all want to see happen.
I just want to point this out, guys. And we had one of the greatest left tackles of all time play for the 49ers. But for this season right here, and I'm hoping they find a way to give this guy an extension with $5 million on the books. I'm hoping they figure it out. Like I'm hoping something happens. I'm hoping they play the lotto, they do something to get some money or what they got to do. If Trent Williams is this good, I don't think we're breaking this down yet. I don't think we're really like receiving what we got in that trade. But if he's really this good, going up against the best defensive end or defensive end as a rookie, however you want to call it, Nick Bosa was the guy. Going up against that guy, and he's able to, without playing in 2 years, and he's in tip-top shape, and he's playing. Can you imagine with Jimmy Garoppolo? Was it Nick Bosa that said the left side of the football? He said nothing wrong with the right side, but that left side, Jimmy's left side, is going to be a problem. That's exactly what Nick Bosa said. Mm-hmm. He said, "I'm not downplaying the right side. I'm just saying that the left side, though, the strong side, the left side is going to be a problem." I think we need to just humble ourselves as fans and just like, look, I can't wait till week 1. Chandler Jones, who? I can't wait.
Are our expectations too high for Trent?
I don't think I'm expecting. Mine aren't. I'm not expecting a high expectation for Trent or for the 49ers or whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I expect us to get to the Super Bowl and win it.
I'm talking about for Trent. Just Trent.
Is the expectations high? I mean,
too high, not high. Of course, they're high.
They're high.
We've heard that he's the best in the business. We've heard it for years.
But
right, Niner fans would argue against people on Twitter and be like, "All right, yeah, except for this guy, right? Like he's the caveat. He was a guy that we would not argue against Joe Staley being better than, right?
Correct.
He's here. He's shutting out Nick Bosa. I don't know about y'all, but my expectation for the dude
is that too high? You consider that being too high? You got the best left tackle in the game. Like, what are you supposed to expect?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I want perfection.
This guy hasn't given up any sacks.
That's what I'm saying. Is that too much to hold? Like, I expect that.
We're talking about a guy here who shut down. Right now, he's doing the Nick Bosa in camp. He shut down Chandler Jones. He shut down Joey Bosa.
Yes, the best in the game.
This is consistently. This isn't just these guys get the better of them one or two plays. This is consistently, and not only that, he gets downfield. He blocks downfield. I'm super excited to see this guy, right? This move, and this is exactly why I said a Trent Williams extension was probably more important to the team than
the George Kittle extension. Thank you so much, Nick, because I was with you on that one. High five, brother. Psh, there we go. All right. Yep.
This is exactly why I said that his extension may be, like everybody said at first, well, we don't know what he's going to be. Well, now he's coming out, and we're seeing what he is. And he's stopping. Look, we can argue it till we're blue in the face, but Nick Bosa was probably the best defensive rookie last year. He was defensive player of the year, top 7 on the list, number 7, right? Number 7 on the 100 list in his first year. He is one of the guys one of the best defensive ends in the league.
He wasn't 7. He was 7. He wasn't 7. Kittle was 7. He was
17.
17. Yeah, sorry. My bad, guys. My bad. Look, this guy has always been one of the best left tackles in the game, right? And my expectations are high for him because that's the level that he plays at.
Correct.
And he's always played at that level. Consistency. He's always been consistent. And that's why when I posed that question that Lukey Walsh asked, and I posed to you guys, this is one of the reasons why I think he was more important for an extension, because he's going to protect the blind side of Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to not allow guys to get back there easily, right? And then he's going up against one of the best defenders in the league right now.
Oh my God!
It's only going to make Nick Bosa better for the years to come.
You don't even have to slide protection to his side.
Nope.
Dude, I don't think they understand that. Look, I know Carlos says, "Why are we so surprised?" We're not surprised. You know what? I said we were going to get Trent Williams 2 years ago, and it happened. So it's not that we're surprised. I think what we're looking at is we have a guy. Like, we have a guy that has been consistently a shutdown left tackle for years. And I know he's older. We get that. But he's consistently done his job well. So with that being said, I can't wait till September 13th because I don't know what we're going to see on the field. All I know is we're going to see more. I said this was the year of perfection. I think I've said that. That's what Kyle's going to do, and he's got pieces to be perfect, and it's going to be a problem. Go ahead, Mike.
So I just wanted to say really quick, I think I figured out what this cross-track move is, or cross, what was the word you said?
I said chop. I thought he said a chop.
Which is possible. So he said, I can't do it to Trent because he doesn't give you the outside
arm. Right. Yeah, that's what I said earlier.
So think about this now. Pretend you're Nick Bosa. You're lining up on the far right of the defense, which is the left of the offense. You're going around this way. You're curving to your left to get to the quarterback, right? So that means the outside hand is Trent's left hand.
And he's trying to.
I think he wants to grab it, pull, and swim around him, like spin Trent a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the move he's trying to do, and he can't do it. I think like if Trent extends that left arm, he wants to grab it and turn him around so he can run around him. I think. I don't know. I never heard anybody refer to it, but I rewound this thing over and over, and then he said the part about he doesn't give you the left arm or the left hand for too long, and I'm like, what the hell is cross? And I think he wants to cross Trent's arm and trap his arm across, because now you can't. What you doing? Alligator arms. It don't matter how long your arms are. If I trap your arm across your chest,
all we gotta do, Mike, is play the shit and turn on closed caption, and he'll tell you. And I'll tell you what he said.
I'm just saying this is where my brain was going, so I don't know. All right, guys. Now listen. We talked about all the things. One thing I did forget to mention was somebody. I don't remember who it was, and it could have been even yesterday. Maybe it was Shanahan today. Somebody was talking about how good Mike McGlinchey's body he physically looked today.
Yeah.
Was that Shanahan?
No.
Was that Shanahan?
I don't know. That wasn't Shanahan today. It was
Someone was saying it, and I was like,
players. If I'm not
Mike McGlinchey's been manhandling D Ford too.
Yes, he's been manhandling on the right side.
Whose pressure was that was talking about him? I
Um,
thought I heard it today, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But it's something to think about. They said that he physically showed up better than what they expected. That's why I felt like it was a coach, because players wouldn't put those expectations on somebody. But I could be wrong. Either way, we're gonna keep it moving. We have
I'll just tell you one thing. When we talk about being excited to see people this year, I'm excited to see that side with Trent Williams and Laken Tomlinson.
Yes, the
Because
left.
Laken Tomlinson is the most underrated offensive line, and we've
In the
been saying
NFL.
that for years on this offensive line.
And
He is
he's
the most underrated. And this guy has been beating up so many people as well.
been
Whether it be
physical
Javon
in practice.
Kinlaw, whether it be D Ford, whoever goes up against him, he's manhandling them. And that left side, whew,
is meaner than a yeah. It's like a weird mean too, right? They're not like mauling mean. They're like a junkyard dog mean. Like
and you know what the best part about how mean they are, right? It's going to be every play. It's not just some plays. It's not just in the first quarter when everybody's fresh legged and everything. These guys are the model of consistency of linemen. And the like this oh
look,
my God.
I am. When we get into this, Mike, I am scared of the interior line though. Right now,
yeah, I mean we don't have a center. So
We'll see.
you know, Daniel Brunskill has never taken a snap in the NFL at center.
and he's been struggling a little bit in practice, but the
Yeah,
fact that he can do it, and you have a couple of weeks for him to get better at it. We're gonna have to rock out with what we got. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
We're not going to be afraid. We're not going to be afraid. We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right by the time it gets.
We didn't know Ben Garland was gonna be this good, and we was gonna be calling on his name until Richburg went down, and he just stepped in and was like, "Oh snap, we ain't skip a beat."
Yes,
And
sir.
Mike noticed that. It's like, "Yo, that's still Garland playing because we ain't skip a beat." I was like,
Uh-huh.
"Yeah, that was
So
him."
we have to be patient. You know, sometimes some of the best things come from turmoil. You know, a big fire fertilizes the ground better than anything that you're going to do tilling it. So those things happen. You know. So let's keep it now. Those are all the pressures we have. I have a couple of notes from reports that came out today in camp. Let's start with Fred Warner, since it's Breezy's background, and we already alluded to this earlier. I want to start with him shining in coverage.
Yeah.
All right, he had 2 PBUs against 2 starters in very crucial times of joint practices today. 11 on 11s. He had PBUs against Brandon Ayuk and Kendrick Bourne.
Yep.
All right. Now, there apparently was some stuff going on, some physical roughhousing and all. Guys' tempers are picking up. If you guys listen to Dwelly's presser, he mentions that a little bit. And I think Fred Warner was involved in one of these, right?
They didn't say the names of the players who were involved, so
I saw Deion Jordan and the one offensive lineman.
I
Right.
don't know who the guys were. All I know is Fred Warner is laying wood, and you can ask George Kittle.
Okay. All right. So we'll get to the physical stuff later on. Okay. So that was one of the things that I heard today. I'm going to shut up and we'll see if you guys heard anything from any of the plays or anything going on, like how we heard the 0 for 4 against Trent. Is there anything that you guys heard? And if not, I'll keep going. I'll run down my list of stuff I heard here.
Just go through your list.
All right. So then I heard that Kendrick Bourne continues to be the team's best red zone threat at wide receiver. Caught 2 passes in the red zone period today, or 2 touchdowns, not just 2 passes, but 2 touchdowns today in the team's red zone periods from 2 different quarterbacks. So it's not just the rapport that he has with Jimmy Garoppolo. He's getting open for Nick Mullins. He's getting open for C.J. Beathard. He caught multiple touchdown passes today during the team's red zone period. Now, is this because he is the number one wide? Is he the number one wide receiver on the field right now? With Samuel out, Hurd out, Pettis still working his way back up, and Sanders gone. Is Kendrick Bourne I'm doing air quotes right now. Is he the number one wide receiver on the roster?
Yeah. And
Hopefully
Matt Mayoko, if you remember watching 49ers Live the other day, said that he is so impressed with the way that Kendrick Bourne came back because Kendrick Bourne looks like a whole different receiver. Matt Mayoko literally said that. Yeah, so Matt Mayoko said Kendrick Bourne looks like a whole different receiver. His routes, the way that he runs them, the ability to get open, the catching, just he looks like a whole different wide receiver. And he says it's hard to look back and say 4 years ago when Kendrick Bourne came here and compare him to the Kendrick Bourne now. You can't do it. They're two total different people. While you still have the goofy side, basically, he was saying, and the energetic side, you got almost a complete receiver in Kendrick Bourne right now in the way he looks in camp right now.
Wow.
And they said that this kid is
running like crazy.
And
that gave me chills, bro.
They said he's out there teaching the other guys.
Yep.
So now we're talking about him taking on a leadership role, the role that Emmanuel Sanders played last year, because Matt said he's also the veteran now out of the receivers.
And we broke that down weeks ago, Breezy. Remember when they did Camp Jimmy and we saw him with Brandon Ayuk?
Yes, sir.
Sitting there saying, you got to do this, you got to do that. He was showing them examples and everything. And that was just a portion of what they were doing caught on film. So imagine what he's doing outside of that, the phone calls he's taking, the routes that he's drawing up for these guys. So he is really taking on, even Kyle Shanahan had to acknowledge it's weird to look at him as the veteran and the leader in the room, and he's still as energetic and goofy as he always is. So shout out to Kendrick Bourne. I'm looking forward to this team is gonna be so much fun to watch. Okay.
Look, I got one question for you. Receiving core last year was okay, right? Obviously, we were.
I felt like it was a little makeshift.
So I say 50% in the league, like at the 50% level with receivers. You take it this year, if you get an upgraded Dante Pettis, you get an upgraded Kendrick Bourne, you have a George Kittle who signed, you get an Ayuk. Is our receiving core better right there with just that talent and ability than it was all of last year?
I think there's another player too that we have to talk about, but I won't do that right now. But yes, I do think that this receiving core will be better this year. I'm going to tell you, I'll be honest, what hurts me the most right now.
Oh, and Trent Taylor. I forgot about him, an upgraded Trent Taylor.
Right. Well, that's one of the guys. Yeah. What hurts me the most is not getting Debo the reps to improve upon. So right now, I think we're going to get the same Debo or the Debo from the end of last year, at least, which is a lot better than Debo weeks 1 through 4, weeks 1 through 5. So it's not a bad thing at all when I say that, but I would love to have seen Debo take those next steps this offseason. We're kind of being, we're being cheated out of that. But even with what happened last year, I think this offense, these wide receivers are significantly better.
Yeah, I think they're physically better, and I think they're mentally better too. I think they understand the playbook more. I think that they understand what it takes to be a wide receiver in this particular offense in the NFL. And it's a competition. It's not a competition to like who's gonna make it, but it's like if Kendrick Bourne catches a pass, then when the other wide receiver gets their number called, they're gonna try to catch the pass too and try to get more yak. I think it's gonna be like a competition, like in that. And I even think Kendrick Bourne is gonna go out to get some yak this year. I don't think he's just gonna catch a pass across the middle, get tackled from behind. I think he got faster, guys. I don't know if that's physically possible, but I think he's out there to try to get some yak by the technique that you guys talked about earlier in the show.
It's definitely possible to get faster.
Not for me.
You can get quicker. I don't know if you can get faster, but the other thing is you can learn from guys like George Kittle, where it's not about straight line speed, it's about angles. And so he's definitely stepping it up, and I'm freaking excited about it, man.
Yeah, and that's not even putting J.J. Nelson or Tavon Austin if they make this team with speed.
Right.
And Tavon Austin's hands.
Right.
So
Bro,
it's just I think
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about his hands. I think you'll see Tavon take those Debo plays, those reverses out of the backfield. You'll see some of that. This is so that we don't skip a beat. Yeah, we're not going to skip a beat on offense. Kyle Shanahan is like, no Debo. All right, I got you. Let me go find a player I know who can run some of these run plays out of the backfield as a wide receiver. Not that there's going to be too many to be called, but I just the way he's piecing it together is just amazing. It's like a puzzle.
Look, I've been hard on Kendrick Bourne, man, but I'll tell you what, I'm excited as hell to see him this year.
About time.
No, I mean I've been saying that for the whole offseason pretty much.
Yeah, man, that boy's been working.
I've given his credit where it's due, but I'm telling you what, I'm gonna hold him at a higher standard this year.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Than I have before. And the reason I'm gonna hold him at a higher standard is because of the reports that he looks faster, his route running looks smoother, his hands look good. Those type of things. And because technically right now, all through camp, he is the number one receiver on this team right now. Veteran-wise, as in on this team, veteran-wise, knowing the playbook and things like that. So I'm going to hold him to a higher standard, which I think is right for all 49ers fans to do. But that's just me, man.
This year's Kendrick Bourne is going to be Dante Pettis. The way we viewed Kendrick Bourne last year is the way I'm going to look at Dante Pettis this year. But I do have a couple more notes here. One of them involves the highest paid tight end in the NFL. They said, and this is a direct quote from an article that was written by Kiana Martin. She said, George Kittle made a catch that was reminiscent of the 4th and 2 reception against the New Orleans Saints in Week 14. The tight end steamrolled defenders en route to a modest pickup, delivering during full team drills. I want to get your guys' opinions on this because I'm going to shut up. I want to get your guys' opinion on this.
Physicality, man. You heard him on NFL Network the other day. He says, if you could do anything in this world, he was talking about what do you like most? They asked him the question, what do you like most about football or whatever? And he said, the ability to take man from point A to point B while he's gasping for air and putting his ass on the ground, basically, right?
And not getting arrested for it.
And not getting arrested, right? So you can go to jail for that in real life, but we're playing football, so you can't go to jail, so I get to do that kind of stuff.
This dude is a psycho.
He is, he's got the Joker on his forearm, man. And you can tell that he's watched those superhero type movies and things like that from a kid. Like, he has that mentality. He can't be touched. He's not going to go down. And that's his play. You heard him with his contract stuff. Look, I'm just happy I can go out there and play football now. I don't got to worry about anything else. I can run through people's faces. Like, that's what he said. Like, he was worried about getting injured. Now he's not worried about that. I'm going to run through people's faces and play the game of football like I like to do. That's my takeaway from that 4th and 2 play. And if he's doing it in practice right now, look, just blow through people, man. Be the George Kittle that you've always been. You got a good payday. Play the sport. You got an injury guarantee, so play balls out. Well, yeah.
All right. So let me ask this question right now. There's a running back, Nick Chubb, in Cleveland. He's been on the sidelines with a concussion because a young linebacker got physical during padded drills and concussed him. Okay? This young guy was ripped apart by teammates, coaches. I mean, they gave it to him. George Kittle going this physical, this hard, based off of what I just read to you guys. You guys think that's right in practice?
I do.
You're the team's superstar, possibly the team's offensive MVP, and because we can't give it back to you. If it was the three of us trying to tackle George Kittle, we know it's practice. We know what he means to the team. We're not allowed to hit him hard. We're not allowed to bring him down at any cost. But we're supposed to just stand there and let him drag us for 2 or 3 extra yards. You get what I'm saying?
Look, it's a tricky answer, right? And the reason I'm going to say it's a tricky answer is because I was always taught you play the way you practice. And that's what I've always been taught, right? Now, obviously, I've never played in the NFL, but there's no preseason games this year. You're trying to get your physicality level up to where you're taking those hits and playing the way that you play, right? So it's right in that way. It's wrong because of the fact that if those guys aren't trying to tackle you back, you could injure them or yourself, right? And then you put the team at a weird position, right? So it's kind of a hard question to answer because we know how George Kittle is, right? He gives it his all on every single play, right? But then when Fred Warner hits somebody the other day and Coach Saleh says, I didn't really like that too much. You know what I mean? Thank God the player got up and he wasn't injured or anything, but I didn't like that too much. And, I'll have to go look at the tape and we'll talk to him later about it. So are you holding George Kittle up here because of his star status compared to, somebody that's down here that's doing it? Are you taking, and I see what you're saying with it, Mike, but I think it's really hard for the players this year because they're trying to adapt, right? By now they're already taking full blown out hits from people, right? And their physicality levels are up because they're in preseason, right? So they're in camp, they're in preseason. And you heard Kyle Shanahan say at the presser before all this stuff started, we're going to do a little more tackling and a little more hitting than we usually do in camp to take up for that. So I don't know how to answer it. If it was me, I'm with George Kittle because of the fact that I'm going to practice the way I play. And because you're going to play the way you practice. If you lollygag or do whatever, it can go over into the game. Or you're playing it safe, and that's when you get injured as well. So, like, okay, I'm going in, and then start change up, and then you twist a knee or twist an ankle or do whatever because you slow down and you stop going forward with plays. So it's kind of hard.
Nick said it. I agree with Nick.
You agree with you? Okay, all right. So y'all are cool with George Kittle just running people
I think
over?
that everybody should. I think they should just bring it in practice, unless it's told not to by the coaches. Unless the coaches say not to, you play till you hear the whistle.
Both of y'all have played some level of competitive sport before.
Yes,
right?
and the
I
only
don't care
time
what
you
the
don't.
sport is, but during practice, there's guys you don't hurt. Quarterbacks get different colored jerseys. Y'all know that there's superstars on.
He's not a quarterback.
A different color jersey. Everybody else is free game.
Yeah,
know that's bullshit. Nobody.
I've coached football.
My high school practices, bro. We was going at it because we was trying to make each other stronger and sharper out there. We was going at it.
Stars on teams are protected even in high school. What are y'all talking? Are y'all serious right now?
Bro, none of my high school football team.
Mine neither.
The only person that had a different color jersey is a quarterback.
quarterback.
The only person you weren't allowed
I'm
to hit.
not talking about the different color jersey. Don't take what I'm saying. Look,
That was the only person you weren't allowed to hit.
Players were protected during high school.
Okay,
Coaches
that's
know
the only
coaches
player
know
that's
who the
protected.
star wide receiver is. Coaches know who the star running back is. You're telling me that you're allowed to hit those guys the same way?
Yes, we were.
Then the coaches need to go ahead and put out there. This is how practice needs to be ran. And if it's hitting or whatnot that it shouldn't be, then they get reprimanded for it. But it's football practice, yo. These guys are going out there. They got to play.
Y'all know damn well the highest paid guy at his position in the NFL is going to be protected when he's out on the practice field. Y'all know that. Fred Warner can't lay the wood to George Kittle in practice right now. If he's coming across Fred Warner's zone, they're going to expect Fred Warner to thud up and let him go. And you know that. Y'all know that.
He did.
So why y'all? Okay.
But Fred Warner did it.
I'll move on. So who y'all think started this fight in practice?
I told you.
I don't know.
Jordan.
No, I don't know if Deion Jordan started. But he said
I heard there were a couple of scuffles.
Right.
I only heard of one, the offensive lineman and Deion Jordan, and that was in one-on-ones, I believe.
But we don't know which offensive lineman it was, right?
We do. I just don't remember the kid's name. It was like somebody that I'm not even familiar with. I'll try to find it again.
I didn't even know it was Deion Jordan. I didn't hear that name.
Yeah, it was.
Well, while Nick looks for it, we keep hearing players and coaches allude to the fact that there's no preseason games, and so this kind of stuff is going to boil over into practices because the guys are dying to hit somebody for real. You know, they're tired of thudding up and going soft on their teammates, except if you're George Kittle. But when that happens, the coaches are like, all right, we let it go for a little bit, we let it go, but then they have to stop. They said Kyle Shanahan actually stopped practice, pulled everybody together and say, guys, let's get it together here. We're on the same team. We're not trying to hurt anybody and all that. So I wanted to know when it comes to fights in camp amongst teammates, because we remember how happy we were. Think about this, Breezy. 3 seasons ago,
Jimmy Ward
and
Hopkins?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Y'all remember when that clip came out? I stood up and cheered like it was during a game or something. Like, let's go! Like, let him know. Let him know.
He gave it to
Right?
him too.
He should, bro.
He gave Hopkins the business, yo.
He
Listen,
gave him 2
I
piece
want-
with no biscuit.
are we going? We're not going to be practicing or scrimmaging against any other camps, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so they gotta get it in, man. They gotta let these boys go in, go at it. They have to. They gotta get ready. If not, it's all gonna come out. You're gonna see a lot of you just don't want to see a bunch of rust being knocked off in the first game. You know, and then it's because they didn't hit enough in practice, or they didn't do this, or they didn't do that. So I think you just gotta let these guys go ahead and dog out, man. I'm gonna say this about injuries. Look, injuries are going to happen. This is a full contact sport. Can you prevent injuries from happening? The only way you can kind of like prevent injuries from happening is just not walking out onto the field. But even then, you can still get injured. So it's like you can't really call it. Like you can't. I want these guys to go out and just play football. I do want them to come out of camp not injured, not hurt. But a little hit, I just feel like it's not going to hurt. I mean, you can't teach them how to hit in the game. They go and take a wrong angle, and next thing you know, oh, they didn't practice that in practice. So they gotta do some type of rapping and tackling, hitting, more than just that little, oh, I'm coming to hit you, and then I just touch you really hard.
Well, it's
Pause.
supposed to be wrap and stop. That's basically what it is.
What's the whole
You don't
point of
stop.
wearing pads? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got full pads on. I could see if it was a walkthrough, right? Like walkthroughs out now on walkthrough days, Mike, days before the game, we would do walkthroughs with our helmets, no shoulder pads, and pants and stuff on, and we wouldn't hit, but we would wrap and tackle. I didn't care what position you are. But in practice, man, listen, I was trying to kill. Like, I was a fullback too. I wish the outside linebacker would try to get to my quarterback, bro. Like, it just wasn't happening. But that's I don't know, man. It's everybody. I don't know. It's awkward.
I found it. It says defensive end Deion Jordan made 0 plays, his specialty, but also started 2 fights with backup offensive tackle Jared Jones-Smith and didn't win either one. Jordan seemed frustrated he couldn't beat someone he probably had never heard of. So far, Jordan has done nothing on the football field to earn a spot on the 53-man roster, and he's a bad fighter too.
Who wrote that?
Who was it against?
Jared Jones-Smith. And it was 2 fights between them.
So maybe that's what the person meant when remember I said I heard there were a couple stuff.
Yeah, it was
That's
2
the
of them
same
with
team.
Deion Jordan and this Jared Jones-Smith.
And he got handled in both of them.
Both of them.
And he said, wow.
Well, I want to see what got handled is. We ain't see it yet, so I want to see what it is.
What channel is the basketball game on right now?
ESPN.
Oh, that's why it's not on NFL Net. I mean on TNT.
Yeah, it's definitely not on NFL Network.
Shut up. I meant TNT.
Well, see, you yell at me when I pay attention.
Yeah,
I'm paying
you always
attention to
pay
what you're
attention at
saying.
all times. But yeah, so I mean, look, this guy. It's funny because Deion Jordan is somebody that we said was on his last. Like, this is your last chance in the league, right? Or I felt like it was in the league. I won't put words in your guys' mouth, but when we picked him up, it's like, yo, bro, you were a first round guy, and what do you have going for you right now? Nobody wants you. We all kind of said that the reason the team signed him was because he was the cheaper option over him and Ziggy Ansah. Remember?
Well, Ziggy Ansah actually declined the money. It wasn't about being the cheaper option. He
declined it
the
because
contract.
it wasn't enough for him. That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
right. But that's what I'm saying. He would have signed if it was more money, but we went with a cheaper option.
So we took the cheapest. flyer we could on you, and because you're getting handled by an unknown guy, you're coming in here throwing bows. You're starting a physical fight. That's not a good look for a former first-round pick, bro.
Where's Demontre Moore? Give Demontre Moore a call.
Right. It's okay. My man's going to heal up. He's going to be back, and it's going to be on and popping. I'm telling you. Moore's coming back to this team this year. Mark my words.
I hope so.
So, guys, listen. We've been going for almost 2 hours here. We're at 1 hour and 50 minutes, and I am through all of my notes. Breezy looked like he was about to, fall asleep or something over there. He was leaning on that hand hard. He hit one of these. He took the glasses off and everything. Nick had a migraine. I don't know what else is going on. How y'all feeling? Y'all ready to wrap this thing up? Y'all ready to go home? Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts is, man, I just want to keep hearing good things out of camp, right? So we're hearing good things, and it's not just specific players. We're hearing good things about rookies. We're hearing good things about veterans. We're hearing good things about, linebackers and just the ability to take the step up, right? And the things that I don't want to hear anymore is of the injuries, right? I want to just, physically, I want to hear better things about our interior offensive line, right? Obviously, center, right guard, because Brunskill is playing center. So right now, Tom Compton is the starting guard right now, and I hear that he's not doing too well over there from guys that are at practice, that he's getting manhandled. Look, we can have the best left side offensive line in the football, but if you don't got the right side too, you're still in trouble. So we got to, things are, look, just no injuries. I'm hearing a lot of good things. I just want to keep hearing good things. Players progressing in their careers, getting better. Overall, this team getting better. And I want to hear more Nick Bosa, Trent Williams stuff, because I want to see Nick Bosa succeed. I want to see Trent Williams succeed. And other than that, man, it's just like, like Wayne was just talking about with injuries, man, it happens. Once you step on the football field, it's a 95% injury rate chance. And I think you've heard Richard Sherman say that before. You step on this football field, there's a high percentage chance that you're going to get hurt. And that's just what it is, right? We talk about not hitting star players and things like that, but look at Jalen Hurd. He was just running by himself on turf, just jogging, doing a warm-up run, and popped his ACL, right? Oh, yeah. So it happens. It happens. We can't continue to be frustrated about players getting hurt. Now, obviously, we can be upset because it hurts the team when they get hurt, and that's out of the feelings that way. But other than that, man, I just want to keep hearing good news come out. Tomorrow's Friday. It's the start of the weekend. Obviously for some of us, and I hope everybody's staying safe, wearing a mask, and go Niners.
Yeah. I just want them to keep going hard, man. That's it. Go hard, go home. And may the best 53 make this roster. That's how I'm looking at it. These guys are going out there, man. They are sharpening each other up. They're showing each other up. Some guys are winning some days. Some guys are winning the other days. This is what you want out of a camp. And it's now that we're finally, we're winning, this is what I want to see. I want to see the best of the best compete for a job. And that's what's going down in the 49ers camp. Can't say that about the other 31 camps in the NFL, but I know for the 49ers camp, Kyle wants the best. And then he wants to try to stash some of the best somewhere else so that other people don't get the other, the leftover best. So I just can't wait to see how this all pans out. I can't wait to watch more practices, see who's doing what, bring you guys more news. It's always real when I'm rocking with the fellas, man. Nothing but Niners for life. Peace out, man.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Well spoken, guys. Couple of things here. Nick, we have to get your superlatives. We don't have to do it right now, but we did a show with myself, Breezy, and Tony, where we got breakout guys, comeback guy, rising star. Don't forget about need to rebound, dark horse MVP, under the radar, and sophomore sleeper. And the only caveat was that you could not repeat someone had already said. So at some point we have to do a show for you where we get yours, because I have this whole list on my phone over here. But other than that, you guys said everything that I want to say. You guys already know about the injuries. We want everyone to be well. We want the team to improve. But we also want to make sure we send out love and prayers to Ron Rivera and his family with the news that he has cancer. He'll be battling cancer, and Ron Rivera is a fighter. It's all he knows how to do. So we will be keeping an eye on that and hoping for the best. Also, to people out in California where these wildfires are, we want to send prayers and concerns out to you guys also. Stay smart. If they tell you to abandon ship, get out. It's not worth it. It's a material thing. Your home is insured. You will be able to get something else. Be smart about what you guys are doing. I hate when I read that people decided to stay and then couldn't get out, those kind of things like really, really hurt. So prayers out for everybody in those situations. And again, the Rivera family. And that's going to do it for us here tonight. And Nothing But Nine. Thank you guys for checking us out and rocking with us. We really appreciate you guys. 191 of you guys still rocking to the very last second. You guys are the reason that we do it. We appreciate you guys. And that's it for us here tonight. We'll be back very soon. And we're out of here. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful, y'all.
We out of here.
We spinning, we winning, we high stakes, we never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes